Okay, so very warm welcome to everybody who's connected. This little presentation will be recorded, so a number of people who haven't been able to join us today. So I've cut your microphones because somebody's listening to the radio, so it was coming through on the general call. Could you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Yes, you can. Great.
Yes.
So first of all, I want to welcome you most sincerely to our first ever online prize day. Whether you're listening to this little talk in Zoom or in a subsequent recorded version, you're very welcome. As I said, it's our first ever prize day online, and I very much hope it will be the last ever too, for reasons that you'll understand. What a difficult year this has been. This morning, Mr. Batty pointed out to me that the college's main website was down. I checked. Yes, there was a big error message. I said to another colleague, disasters come in threes. The reply came back, what number are we on now? Happy to say that I checked back 5 minutes ago and the website is working again, so who knows. Another challenge that we had today was that the National Latin exam results, which were supposed to be available online and haven't been posted to us as they usually are because of the coronavirus, the site doesn't work. So we'll be sending the information to those who have got certificates and medals in the National Latin exam over the summer. So I'm sorry we're not able to give you those results today. Pius XI reminds us in his great encyclical on education that our Lord had a special care for children and their education. He tells us that Jesus Christ, in the immensity of his love for all mankind, even for unworthy sinners, showed nevertheless a special tenderness and affection for children, and expressed himself in those singularly touching words, I'm quoting from Pius XI here, suffer the little children to come unto me. Gospel. And in our chapel we have a stained glass window of that scene of Jesus saying, let the little children come to me. Children are everything for us, or at least they should be. They are our future. And as individuals, we hope that they will look after us when we are old. And in the meantime, we need to look after them. But they're also, for us collectively, the future of our society. And so in education, we get the chance to allow them to live in the safe haven of our schools, the kind of life that we would like the whole world to live in the future, and that we hope they will build even after we've gone. Creating the right environment has always been very much what Chavagnes is all about. And that has been a special challenge this year in the context of internet learning. And I know for some people it's been more difficult than for others. Sometimes we're a victim of the technology, of our Wi-Fi signal. It has been a real challenge, and sometimes it's brought great joys, speaking to people that we haven't spoken to for many years, and sometimes it's brought frustration. I think I speak for us all when I say that I miss real life. And I'm very much looking forward to getting back to real life again. In September. I'm just going to cut the microphones for a minute because we're getting a little bit of interference. Children, so we've mentioned that. So I'm looking forward to getting back to real life in September. I received a surprise email yesterday from a boy who many of you know, who left us a year ago. I'm not going to mention his name, but I'm going to read to you from that email. I'm not going to do the French accent. I know that Chavagnes is having a difficult time, mostly because of COVID-19. I just wanted to tell you that even if I had difficult times in Chavagnes, And even if I was not always a very good example, Chavagnes made me a man. It is a big family that made me who I am. Chavagnes is like the year zero of my life. I was a lost boy before I entered your school. And now, after 3 years there, I'm a man who knows what he wants. I learned so much in Chavagnes. I learned how to handle myself and take care of others. I learned to have faith. Chavagnes is a magic place, his words, not mine, and I have a lot of very good memories that I will never forget. Then he talks about his current school, and he says, I remember Chavagnes every single day. Thank you, sir, for these 3 amazing years that I spent in Chavagnes. I have faith in you and in the school. Good luck. So I don't mind telling you that that made me cry a little when I got that email yesterday. I think we can truly say that this difficult time has been a revealing experience for all of us. It has tested us. It has sometimes brought out the best and sometimes brought out the worst in different people. But for those who have risen to the challenges and made the best of them, it will have been a fruitful time. And life is always like that. At the front of our college is a statue of Our Lady. It's called Our Lady of the Scepter. It is associated with a miracle story that I don't have time to talk about today. But it represents a little thought, an aspiration. The child Jesus whispers in his mother's ear as he whispers into the ears of the teachers here. In electis tuis mite radices. Well, in fact, the statue says, in electis meis mite radices. Put down roots in my elect, in those whom I've chosen. And so that, in another form, this has become our college motto. In electis tuis mite radices. Put down roots in your chosen ones. We actually have another motto from one of our songs that we like to sing. Laudate Deum Principes, praise the Lord, O you princes. Because Chavagnes is a school for leaders, a school that tends the young plant and in imitation of the parable of the mustard seed, helps it to become a strong tree that will be an inspiration and a support for others in the future. We try to build virtue here, we try to build community here, but not as ends in themselves. We do it so that a taste for virtue and the taste for community might catch on. And we hope that Chavagnes boys will spread that light when they leave us. And so far, in the main, they have. In almost 20 years, just under 20 of our boys and young teachers have gone on to seminary or religious life. So that's about 1 every year. There are also Chavagnes pupils blazing a trail in education, in the law, in university research, and in different branches of business. Many of our old boys are now fathers with children of their own, and they're spreading their light in many different ways around the world in different countries. Second Vatican Council in the Constitution Gravissimum Educationis, the serious business of education, taught that Catholic education should be characterized by 4 key elements, and they make a good checklist, especially when it's Prize Day. Here's the checklist from that document. The promotion of academic excellence, breadth, not just being good at one thing, but trying to develop yourself in many different things. Moral formation, teaching the young to choose what is right, not just obliging them to do what is right, but giving them an informed conscience so that they can choose for themselves what is right. And fourthly, a formation in prayer, especially how to pray with the liturgy of the church. So those 4 things, the 4 things that that Vatican document says are the job of a Catholic school. So in most modern schools, even Catholic schools, attention is concentrated on the first of that list, to the detriment of the other 3. Good GCSE results ought to be part of a good Catholic education, but they're not the be-all and end-all. They're not the only thing that matters. I won't go into the reasons why, though, but this year I'm hoping for some very good GCSE and A-level results. I won't say anymore. It's a great pleasure today to welcome our head boy Josh Osborne, and also a head boy from several years ago who spent 7 years here, Maximilian Micalefino. He might not be ashamed to be introduced to you as Dominic's brother. Dominic was another head boy who left us a year ago. He's now studying history at Reading. Max is currently teaching on our online English course, so thank you, Max. And he has also taught in previous courses in Chavagnes here in 2017, 2018, I think. Last year, he kindly donated a new trophy, a beautiful silver jug, to honour those who have made a contribution to the cultural life of the college. When Max was a boy here, he won most of the trophies himself. So it's an honour to have him here today to say a few words to us. And in a few moments, I will share with you a little speech from Josh Osborne, our head boy, and then we'll pass over to Max, and then to Mr. Long, the deputy headmaster, who will announce the different prize winners. And that will be the end of our little ceremony today. We're very happy to have with us today the boys and a few girls who are on our online English course at the moment. They've joined us also today. That's why we've got over 50 people here. There's a prize, there's some prizes for them as well. So keep listening. So thank you very much for being present today. And I'm going to attempt something very technological now. I'm going to share with you Josh's speech. I'm going to share with you Josh's speech in a window. So it's going to come up on your screen. Because Josh has some internet problems in his house, he's actually pre-recorded his speech, you see. So we're going to have to share it with you. It's only about a minute long, but we're going to share it with you in this call. Just coming up now. So. Right, okay, so that's Josh. Just a minute. Slight technical. Stop saying good morning, Josh. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and then you should be able to see and hear. So, just a moment. That one. There.
Good morning to all parents, guardians and students of Chavagnes International College. My name is Josh Osborne and I've had the pleasure of being Chavagnes International College's head boy during this difficult year.
Can you hear that?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So we'll put it back to the beginning and we'll start again.
Good morning to all parents, guardians and students of Chavagnes International College. My name is Josh Osborne and I've had the pleasure of being Chavagnes International College's head boy during this difficult year. On behalf of the students, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the teachers for their dedication in continuing to provide all the students with classes during this lockdown. Chavagnes has taught me a great mentally. Being surrounded by different cultures and nationalities has been a great experience that I'll never forget. Having come from a mainstream school where there was 120 pupils in a year group and 32 in a class, to a school where there's 6 pupils in a year group and 3 in a class, it has been a huge advantage and helped me reach my full potential. But that's not the only difference here at Chavagnes. You're not just a number on a sheet of paper, you're part of a huge family, which for me is a great part of my experience. Sport is a very important part in my life, and the school has supported me as I played sport at a high level in a club outside of school, staying up late to let me in, as I have had late training sessions all year, and for giving me an occasional lift, which I very much appreciated. I have very much enjoyed my time here. It has been a privilege and an honour being the head boy at Chavagnes International College.
Thank you very much,
and I wish
Josh.
you all the best in the future.
Okay, so thank you very much, Josh. I'm just wondering, is Maximilian Micalefino, is he connected here?
Yes, I'm here. Probably.
Good. If you switch on your camera and your mic, we should.
Yes,
there we see. Yes, we can see you. Very good.
Yes, once I start speaking, I'll come to the top. So, Okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, I shall hand over to Max, who's going to say a few words, and then Mr. Long will tell us who's won all the different prizes this year.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. McDermott, for that very kind introduction. Yes, I spent 7 years at Chavagnes between 2007 and 2014. And since then, I have done a master's in aerospace engineering. I've worked as an engineer at Airbus and the UK Ministry of Defence. And now in winter, I will be going to seminary, like so many others, as Mr. McDermott mentioned. Now, why the culture trophy? Why did I think that the culture was so important that it deserved its own trophy? Well, I think it is because on top of an academic education, which is certainly something we receive with probably the best student to pupil ratio in the entire world, we also get a lot of opportunities to develop as human beings. For example, in my time, we sang madrigals on May mornings, we did polyphony in Welsh mines, we went on many scout trips, whether it was rainy or sunny, with other people. We also got very good living conditions. I had the furnitures, we served mass and benediction. I even helped create the gradine, which is the step above the altar, and liturgically innovated a 14-server mass with 5 MCs. I learned excellent modern languages and ancient languages. I had all sorts of positions of responsibility. And throughout that time, I was really helped to grow by the different plays we put on. I would often get the most insane characters like Doggery or Caliban, which I think are just so much more interesting than the everyday characters which are also there. What I'm really trying to say is that these opportunities are things which most people will struggle to get in their entire lifetime. And it's within a few years at Chavagnes, all that is possible. So why do we do that, and why is that important? Well, I think it is important because a true education needs to prepare you for the future and to further propagate Western civilization, which we have inherited from above. And that is why the teachers dedicate every single ounce of their energy every working day of the week and on the weekends to give us this. It is this philosophy of the teachers and also the fact that at the very center of each day, we have the most holy sacrifice of the Mass, which make our life possible at Chavagnes. So these are the opportunities which some of you will have going forwards in the future. And also some of you will be leaving now. Well, you're going to miss it when you're gone, but at least you've been properly prepared for your life afterwards. And after all, you all know off by heart the recipe for success, whether it is at school or in life in general. Uphold its traditions, bring honor to its name, and always do your best. Those are the only things you need to do. Thank you.
Just putting my microphone back on again. Thank you very much, Max. Good to hear from you. Thank you for telling us also what you're doing in September, going off to the seminary, and we wish you all the very best with that, and you will certainly be in our prayers. Now, Mr. Long. Mr. Long's now going to tell us about the prizes.
Hello, good morning everyone, and thank you all for joining from near and far. I can see a few tired faces there from our friends in countries who are experiencing a very early start today. So thank you very much. There are 3 categories of awards that will be presented today. The first one are our sort of extracurricular awards, or our lockdown awards. So there are some tasks that we gave to students at the start of the lockdown period to work on. The second category are our general subject awards. This year we're doing something slightly different. We are recognising the progress of students within their subject. So students who have made the most progress from the start of the year until now, bearing in mind the unusual circumstances we've found ourselves in with the lockdown situation. And that progress award is based on things like academic progress, so achieving or building on your previous successes, as well as a turnaround in character and application to the subject. And the second award that goes with the general class awards is achievement. and that is based on academic achievement. That's based on grades. So the student who achieved overall the highest grades this year. The third category of awards, the highly coveted trophies that Max spoke about, which I will present one of his on his behalf for culture. And those trophies, can you hear me, Mr. McDermott, or are you just leaving? Sorry, just said this. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay, that's okay. All right, great. So that's the culture award. There'll be awards for cross-country, for sport, for academics, and for integrity. And it's not just a coincidence that they reflect those 4 pillars of Catholic education Mr. McDermott referred to just before, and here are the trophies now. Okay, so looking at the promotion of academic excellence, which will be recognised, the breadth of study and experience, which is demonstrated through sport and culture, and moral formation and formation in prayer, which are reflected in integrity. Okay, so without further ado, I will go through these awards. Now, I'm conscious that you're all sitting in living rooms and bedrooms and things like that. We won't have students who come up to receive the award. No need for me to say hold your applause till the end because you've been muted. So let's go. So the first, the awards that were presented for the lockdown period were for cooking, poetry, the acquisition and development in languages by Duolingo, so that was easily recorded, and also for the classes which have been happening the last few weeks and will continue for the START, the English language course, which was open to girls as well as boys, and so that's been a really interesting endeavour. First prize for cooking then goes to Alonso from Year 9, and second prize to Owen from Year 7. For poetry, first prize goes to Owen from Year 7, and second prize to Simon in Year 13. The Duolingo Language Awards overall, first prize goes to Elliot from Year 8. And then for the English language course, we are celebrating, and apologies for my horrible pronunciation of their names. Fortunately, they're muted, so they can't object. Luke Donato for achievement, and Eloise Dufayet for progress for language. So, silent applause. Okay, on to the subject awards then. So I'm always conscious when we present awards that there might be a subliminal message put in the priority or the order in which you use. And if I start off with religious education, you'll all think, oh, that must be the most important, which is also my subject. So to avoid any unconscious bias, I've just gone through more or less alphabetically. So we'll start with art, and Mrs. Boyles congratulates from Year 7 for achievement, Patty, and for progress, Owen. In Year 8 for achievement, Elliot, and for progress, Lois. In Year 9, Pierre-Louis for achievement, and Arwen for progress. And in the A-level courses for achievement, Francois in Year 12, and Simon in Year 13, and for progress, Tom in Year 12. In English, as an international school, we teach English for the native speakers or the very confident, based largely on the English curriculum, especially the AQA GCSE for later on. Okay, and we also teach English as a second language. The teachers of those subjects are Mrs. Boyles, Mrs. McChrystal Fletcher, and myself, Mr. Long. So for English, I won't say English proper because it's all proper English, but for English as a standard subject in Year 7, George, in Year 8, Cormac for achievement, and Elliot for progress. In Year 9, Bruno for achievement, and Dylan for progress. For GCSE English in Year 10, Paul.
Huh?
Paul for, yes, that's right, Dylan. You might
achievement.
Thank you.
Achievement, sir. I'm a perfect language, sir. I'm a perfect speaker, sir. I don't need
My time to shine now, Dylan. It's not class time, your time. Okay. So for GCSE English, that's Paul in year 10 for achievement and Jude for progress. In year 11, Robert for achievement and Carlos for progress. In year 13, Josh for achievement. For English as a second language, in year 7, Owen for achievement and Patty for progress. In year 8, Lois for achievement. He was the only year 8 student, but he still did very well. And in year 9, Alonzo for achievement, Arwen for progress. In the Cambridge English course, taught by Mrs. Boyles, in year 10, Martin for achievement and Federico for progress. In year 11, Edgar for achievement and Teofan for progress. And then for achievement for year 12, Amboise, and for year 13, Simon. As with English, in French, we run 2 classes, French for the native speakers and the very confident, and French for the learners, not the more intermediate. For junior French, Mr. Tomlin congratulates Owen for achievement and Elliot for progress. In year 9, Mateo for achievement and progress. In year 10, Dante for achievement, Martin for progress. Year 11, Carlos for achievement and Sylvester for progress. Mr. Mabille, who takes the native speakers, congratulates the following. In year 9, Pierre-Louis for achievement, Arwen for progress. In year 10, Alban for achievement and Six for progress. In year 11, Louis. And then for A-level French, for achievement, Amboise, and for progress, Francois. We decided to award this year the German award as an overall subject. The boys did very well from year 10 through to year 12. And so we have collated those results and decided to recognise for achievement Kirill von Oldenburg and for progress Paul. In history, Mrs. Batty congratulates the following boys. In year 7 and 8 of the junior combined class, Elliot for achievement and George for progress. In year 9 history, Bruno for achievement, Arwen for progress. Mr. Mobile congratulates for Brevet Histoire, Alban for achievement. I take GCSE history, and I was very excited to see in this class such close results. So I was there punching the air for the boys all by myself, on the couch, whilst I was putting together the awards. For GCSE history in year 10, Dante for achievement and Martin for progress. In year 11, Robert for achievement and Sylvester for progress. In Latin, Mr. McDermott and Mr. Batty congratulate the following boys. For the junior Latin course, George for achievement, Elliot for progress, and for year 9, Pierre-Louis for achievement, Bruno for progress. In mathematics, Mr. Hayes and Madame Leroy congratulate the following boys. In year 7, Owen. In year 8, Lois for achievement and Elliot for progress. In year 9, Pierre-Louis for achievement and Dylan for progress. In year 10, Jude for achievement and Paul for progress. Year 11, Carlos for achievement and Louis for progress. In Foundation GCSE Maths, Tom for achievement and Inigo for progress. And for GCSE Higher in year 12, Franz for achievement. For A-level mathematics, progress and achievement, Dr. Conlon recognises the efforts of Mateo. Dramatic pause. Religious education, the people's favourite. For year 7, I congratulate George for achievement and Owen for progress. Year 8, Cormac for achievement and Lois for progress. In Year 9, Pierre-Louis for achievement and Dylan for progress. For Year 10 GCSE RE, Dante for achievement and Alban for progress. In Year 11, Robert for achievement and Louis for progress. In Year 12 and 13, the following boys are recognised for achievement. In Year 12, Kirill, and for progress, Amboise. And in Year 13, Arthur for progress, Arthur for achievement and Calefred for progress. In the sciences, Mr. Tomlin, Mrs. McChrystal Fletcher and Mr. Batty congratulate the following boys. In junior science, for achievement is Cormac and Lois for progress. In Year 9, Dylan for achievement and Arwen for progress. In GCSE biology, Year 10, Dante for achievement and Martine for progress. In GCSE biology, Year 11, Robert for achievement and Louis for progress. In GCSE chemistry, in Year 10, Dante for achievement and Six for progress. For Year 11, Edgar for achievement and Carlos for progress in chemistry. In AS level chemistry, Amboise is recognised for progress and achievement. In GCSE physics, for Year 10, achievement is recognised as the efforts of Jude and progress Sixth. In Year 11, Robert for achievement and Carlos for progress. In AS level physics, in Year 12, Amboise for progress and achievement. And in Year 13, Calefred for achievement and Josh for progress. Last but certainly not least, for the general subject awards is Spanish. And Mr. Barcia would like to recognise the efforts of the following boys. For Year 7, Patty and Owen. Year 8, Elliot and Cormac. Year 9, Arwen and Bruno. For GCSE Spanish, achievement, Dante and progress, Jude. In Year 11 for GCSE Spanish, recognises Teofan and Louis. In A-level Spanish for Year 12, Tom and Franz. And in Year 13, Arthur and Javier. So well done, all you boys, and a silent round of applause. I don't have to do mine silently. Okay, the final award will, hopefully the screen will flick between me and Mr. McDermott, or you can ping Mr. McDermott's video if you would like, and then you'll see him with all the shiny cups there.
Mr. Long,
yes.
If you pause and I say well done, then it will automatically shoot to me.
Okay, not a problem. Okay, so as Mr. McDermott mentioned, the 4 pillars of Catholic education referred to in the documents in the Second Vatican Council: the promotion of academic excellence, breadth of study and experience, moral formation, and the formation in prayer. And so we have deliberated, in some cases long and hard, over who will receive these awards. And it's always a great challenge when nominating people for these awards, because we have so many candidates. But of course, there can only be one. Generally, can only be one. So the first award is the Brother Moylan Cup for cross country. And the Brother Moylan Cup for cross country is awarded to Federico.
Well done, Federico. This is the Brother Moylan Cross Country Cup. You can see there are lots of names on the bottom, and your name will go on the bottom there. Brother Moylan died last year. Died August, the year before last. He was here for 7 years, a wonderful teacher, and he used to run the cross country with Mr. Hayes, before Mr. Hayes took it over, actually. And so this honours Brother Moylan, and we also honour you, Federico, this year with the cup. The name will go on that.
Well done, Federico. For sport, we have a number of very good sportsmen and all-round sportsmen. So this award considers not just football, which is probably the most popular one, or the efforts in rugby, in basketball, and in tennis, as the first few that come to mind. And this year, we'd like to recognise the achievements on the sporting field and as a leader of teams and the arbiter in disputes on the field, Alvaro.
Well done, Alvaro. This cup here, which has a lovely Latin quotation on it, glorify God in your body. And so that's about making the best efforts you can. And I noticed that Maximilian Micalefeno's name is on here, 2010 to 2011. So Alvaro, your name will go on here as a way for us to remember you. Thank you very much for your efforts. Congratulations.
Well done, Alvaro. Max's award, or the Culture Award, goes to a student who has contributed to the wider life of the college, including in our own online drama. That might give it away who that was.
That's me, sir.
In the presentation of King Lear. Okay, did you play the fool, Dylan? Please don't answer that question. And this goes to a student who has helped out without kind of any argument or hesitation in singing, helped out through maths, and came online to help out and represent the students in our online performance of King Lear. As I said before, that is, of course, our head boy, Joshua.
Thank you, Josh. So you've got this wonderful jug here, which has the college coat of arms on one side, and we've got last year's name and the name before. I noticed that 2018 to 2019 has Dominic Micalefeno on it, so your name's going to go on there. The little quotation that's written on there, take off my glasses. It says, Discipulo rerum humanitatem peritissimo premium hoc donatum est a Maximiliano. Right, so basically, expert decide.
We can't hear you, sir. You're breaking.
Am I? Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Very badly.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, we can
Can
hear
you
you.
hear me now?
Nope. Maybe you, sir, can't hear us.
Not very,
Okay. Just anyway, just congratulations to Josh. So
not very, very good.
Josh.
Okay. The next award is for academic excellence. And again, another tough award, particularly with the lockdown situation where we didn't have students in class as we would normally. And so students had to take control, well, not take control, but be more responsible for their independent learning. And again, lots of people come to mind. I would like to put a special mention out to our boys who were unable to attend the live lessons, who have nevertheless done quite well in their examinations, which we hosted, continued as normally as possible the year. But the student that we're going to recognise this year is one who has demonstrated a sophistication and maturity in his subjects and in his independent learning, and that is Arthur in year 13.
well done, Arthur de Genouillac. Lot of distinguished names on here. I noticed that well, there's Benedict Dyson for 3 years in a row. And then before that, going back to 2013 to 2014, we have Maximilian Micalefeno on there again. So the same names coming back and back again. And lovely Latin quotation on there as well, also from scripture. Give me understanding, dammi intellectum. That's a good prayer for us all. So well done to Arthur. Your name will be on here as you move on to your next stage of your life. It will help us to remember you and your contribution to the academic life of the college. Thank you.
Well done, Arthur. And finally, the Integrity Award. This, I suppose, reflects very closely, or very much, the moral formation that Mr. McDermott referred to earlier, and is for a student who conducts himself maturely, is honest, works hard, and often works behind the scenes for often thankless tasks, to be honest, as is always the case with people who work behind the scenes. We don't see what goes on and sometimes assume it just happens on its own. And this year, we would like to recognise for the Integrity Award from Year 12, Amboise.
Well done, Amboise de Beaufort. This is for you. Your name's going to go on here. In fact, this cup was given by the family of Father Stephen Morrison, who was the first priest ordained from Chavagnes. He joined the school in 2002 and is now a priest in the Norbertines in England. So his family gave us this lovely cup. There were 3 brothers who came here over a series of number of years. They're all very good boys. So, in fact, they all got their names on the cup over the years, the Morrison family. And so it's great to see that the name of de Beaufort will be on here as well. Amboise has been here for 6 years and done very well. And as Mr. Long said, always helping behind the scenes in all sorts of ways. Very truthful, honest and noble young man. So we congratulate Amboise and wish you well for the future.
And that concludes, ladies and gentlemen, the presentation of the awards on my part. I won't take too much of your time, except just to thank all the students and parents who have worked so hard during the lockdown period in contacting me or their teachers when they needed extra assistance in getting prepared for examinations, for the boys who have photographed their work and sent them in promptly, and if there were any mistakes there, who got on to rectify it quickly. And just to wish all the boys and parents a happy and restful summer break, and we look forward to welcoming the boys back in more normal circumstances. And for those who are finishing up with us this year, we wish you all the very best for the next chapter of your education, be it university or other studies. So thank you very much, and Mr. McDermott will finish off our ceremonies this morning.
So thank you very much, Mr. Long. Thank you. And I also want to say a personal fond farewell and thank you very much to the boys who are leaving us this year, and also to members of staff who've been serving here for a number of years. Particular thanks to Father Lawler, who's been here for 6 years, and also to Mr. and Mrs. Batty, who've been here for 8 years, moving on to the missions in the future. And they've left a great legacy behind them, and we thank them very much. And also some boys who've been in the school for a few years going on, going to make their mark in the world. We wish them very well for the future. And we can finish our little time together here today. Gosh, this is the most successful Zoom lesson that we've had in the lockdown. We've got up to 58 participants at one point. And not too much interference. So maybe we can finish by just saying the Our Father together. Maybe we won't all say it aloud, otherwise the system will explode. We'll say it together quietly. I'll lead you in Latin, as we're in international schools, and then I wish you all the very, very best in the future. It's been a difficult year, but I hope next year, even if the school is a bit smaller next year, we hope that it will be more dynamic. It'll be a time for renewal, rebuilding, and recommitting ourselves to our key objectives and why we're here. So I ask you to pray for me personally and to pray for the college. And I'll pray for you and I wish you all a lovely summer. I hope the sun comes back again. We'll finish now with an Our Father. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum. Adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimitte nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus nostris, ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo. Amen.
Amen.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Well done, everybody. Have a great summer. And just a message to the A2 class on the stage that we'll meet again at 12:15 because we're a little bit late. So 12:15 for the A2 class. Okay. Donc, je vois Madame Leroy là. Merci beaucoup, Madame. Bonnes vacances à vous et à votre famille. Et aux Français qui n'ont pas trop compris, ça dépend des individus, mais je vous souhaite aussi de joyeuses vacances, une bonne fin de confinement à l'horizon, et puis portez-vous bien, et j'espère que vous allez venir et peut-être bien à la rentrée. Donc, au revoir à tout le monde. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Salut monsieur, au revoir.
So
Bye.
you're gonna give me my soccer and basketball trophies, but okay. Okay. And
What's that, Dylan?
you forgive me my soccer and basketball trophies. And my
I think we have a heckler, Mr. McDermott. Someone waiting for another time to shine.
Someone
okay.
waiting for another time to shine. Yes, it's a good point, actually. We didn't have any junior sports prizes. Well, we always forget something, but we very much appreciate your contribution, Dylan. You're a wonderful person. And thank you for leaving all your spicy spice.
Oh yeah, take a share. I'll come back and get them, sir, when I come back.
Hope this up.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir. Bye.